President of the Republic. National anthem, please. Thank you very much. Kindly take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, a good evening to you, and you're welcome to the first Garia Presidential Fundraising Dinner and Awards Night. My name is Kafui Day. It's my pleasure to be your Master of Ceremonies. We will start this event by calling on the person to do the opening prayer for us, who is the Anglican Bishop of Accra, in the person of Right Reverend Dr. Daniel S.M. Toto.
Shall we please bow down our heads for prayer? In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord God Almighty, who has made all people of the earth from your glory, to serve you in freedom and peace, grant us who are gathered here this night a zeal for justice and the strength of forbearance, that we may continue to use our liberty according to your gracious will. We thank you for the work of the Ghana Association of Restructuring and Insolvency Advisors, that as we celebrate tonight the passage of the new Companies Bill, you will give us grace to recognize the committee of experts, stakeholders, groups, and all the key players whose efforts have culminated in the passage of this bill. And that we will appreciate the work of the Ghana Association of Restructuring and Insolvency Advisors as they invite us tonight to support them, to raise funds, to enable them continue to provide the needed support, and to encourage restructuring of the distressed entities and other businesses establishments. And finally, we pray that your Holy Spirit will guide us, not that we do here tonight, as you also bless, consecrate all that we shall eat and drink as we ask this, to that precious name, even Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much, Right Reverend Dr. Daniel Toto. The person to deliver the welcome remarks is the managing partner of Addison Bright Sloan, a leading firm in Ghana, dual qualified in England and Wales and Ghana, and a former partner at the London office of DLA Piper Solutions, presently the world's largest law firm by revenue. Our speaker was legal advisor to former President Kufuor and Minister of State, and has advised on major projects of strategic and/or economic importance to Ghana, including the first Millennium Challenge Compact between Ghana and the MCC, Ghana's first sovereign bond issue, the privatization of Ghana's 2 national carriers, and the development of the 5-star Mervyn Hotel complex, including commercial space and private residences. Our speaker is a member of the Governing Council of Garia. With a big round of applause, and to give us the welcome remarks, let us welcome the Honorable Vicky Bright.
Thank you, Kafui. Your Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Lordship, Mr. Justice Doche, representing Her Ladyship, Justice Sophia Kufu, Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Ministers, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Mr. Ernest Anderson, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Nime, Name, Nananum, captains of industry, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished members of the Governing Council of Garia. It is a great pleasure for me to welcome His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, and each and every one of you to this evening's historic event. Essentially, a celebration of the passage of the new companies law, which will enhance the ease of doing business in Ghana, and to launch the Garia Trust Fund and recognize some key individuals who have contributed to the process. This has been a long and arduous journey, which started under the administration of former President Kufuor, and I'm happy to say has been finally completed under the administration of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Mr. President, Garia is grateful, Ghana is grateful, and every business and every potential investor in our country is grateful that after a 12-year journey, under your leadership, you have finally made this happen. We are also grateful to the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana for all the support it has given to the President in this respect. We are grateful to the Speaker, the Honorable Majority Leader, the Honorable Minority Leader. Congratulations to them and the team and the Constitution and Legal Committee of Parliament for all the hard work on behalf of our nation, Ghana. We are also grateful to the Registrar of Companies, Mrs. Jemima Wari, and her team, our sponsors, Busak and PricewaterhouseCoopers, to Guinness, to Coca-Cola, and all those who have contributed to today. We are grateful to all who have made this event possible, and also the staff of Labadi Beach Hotel who have been very gracious and who will keep us fed with delicious food and also water this evening. It is my hope that we will go away with some degree of excitement and pride, as this marks another significant milestone in the President's commendable and ambitious business reform agenda and his vision of Ghana beyond aid. Your Excellency, Mr. President, dignitaries and distinguished guests, I wish you an interesting and thoroughly enjoyable evening. Thank you very much.
And with a performance like that, who needs to go to the gym to exercise? Beautiful, beautiful performance from Noyam, which blends traditional aesthetics with modern interpretations, and they are the future of dance, directed by Ni Tete Yate. I think they deserve another big round of applause. And it's now time to reveal the identity of our chairperson for tonight, whose career has spanned academic, legal advisory, and judicial roles at the national and international levels. Appointed a lecturer at the University of Ghana in 1969, our chair rose to the position of associate professor there and at the Faculty of Law of the University of Nairobi before becoming a full professor of law at the University of Calabar in Nigeria. He's held visiting academic positions at Lincoln College, Oxford University, at the Yale Law School, and Freiburg University, Switzerland. Our chairperson was Justice of the Supreme Court of Ghana from 2003 to 2013, and prior to that, the Speaker served as a Special Advisor Legal at the Commonwealth Secretariat in London from 1984 to 2013, currently Chair of the Electronic Communications Tribunal and the Law Reform Commission of Ghana. Earlier was Chair of the Council of the University of Ghana from 2009 to 2016. Our Speaker has published extensively on Ghanaian law and international commercial law, and has a recent book entitled Reflections on the Supreme Court of Ghana, published 2015. Since 1996, has been a member of the International Academy of Commercial and Consumer Law, elected a fellow of the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences in 2000, and decorated with the Order of the Volta of the Republic of Ghana in 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, our chair for tonight is none other than Justice Professor Samuel Date Ban.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, Anadu Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic, His Lordship Jones Victor Doche, representing the Chief Justice of the Republic, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Members of Parliament, His Grace, the Bishop of Accra, Right Reverend Dr. Daniel Silvanus Mensah Toto, Sheikh Arimiyao Shaibu, spokesman for the National Chief Imam, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Nime, Name, Nananum, captains of industry, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted and honored to have been invited by the Ghana Association of Restructuring and Insolvency Advisors, known as Garia for short, to chair this evening's event. This is the culmination of a long process that started well over a decade ago, when I was appointed to chair the Business Law Reform Committee of Experts in 2008 by the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice of the day, the Honorable Joe Garte. The committee was expected to carry out its terms of reference within the context set by the ministry's policy of easing the doing of business through business law reform. And that policy was referred to then as the Business Law Reform Program. After its establishment in April 2008, the committee's first priority was to tackle reform of the existing companies legislation. This implied a review or replacement of the Companies Act 1963 and the Bodies Corporate Official Liquidations Act 1963. These statutes have been enacted on the recommendation of the legendary Professor L.C.B. Gower of the London School of Economics. Any reform of them was thus going to be a tall order. The members of the committee are therefore delighted that today we are celebrating the enactment of a new Companies Act 2019, receiving presidential assent only yesterday. It is a revised and updated version of this 1963 Act with important innovations, and also that the Corporate Insolvency Bill 2019 is before Parliament. I'm elated to see so many professionals and business people gathered here today to celebrate with Garia the enactment of the Companies Act 2019. It demonstrates clearly that the Garia movement is gathering momentum. While working on the Companies Bill from 2008, the Business Law Reform Committee of Experts reached the conclusion that a corporate insolvency bill was needed alongside it. To expedite matters, a different approach was adopted in relation to the formulation of the latter bill. The Attorney General contracted Garia to prepare a report on new corporate insolvency legislation. The Attorney General also designated the Committee of Experts as his representative to discuss and supervise the output of Garia. This the committee did until it ceased to exist formally. While working on these two bills, it has been my luck and privilege to interact with some wonderful people, many of whom are here today. I would like to put on record my gratitude to them all. The extensive consultative process that the Committee of Experts undertook was very educative and improved the substance of our recommendations. The official mandate of the Business Law Reform Committee of Experts expired about 2 years ago. About 2 years after its inception. However, that did not blunt the ardor of the members of the committee in their determination to get their recommendations enacted. The committee members, therefore, remained together as an unofficial advisory group to various attorneys general over the years to keep the two legislative projects on track. During the post-decommissioning period of the committee, two institutions have played a crucial role in keeping the show on the road, so to speak. These are Garia, our host tonight, and the Registrar General's Department. Incidentally, along the road, I was invited to join the Council of Garia. Garia has a worthy objective, and therefore I was glad to receive this invitation to join its council. Its aim is to foster a rescue culture in the Ghanaian corporate world. If the company becomes distressed, the first option should not be to liquidate it, but rather to restructure it and enable it to succeed. I find Garia a fascinating professional organization which can perform a valuable role in the development of the private sector in the country. Promoting knowledge and insights in company law and practice, as well as in corporate insolvency law and practice, is to be commended. Mr. Felix Addo, its promoter and prime mover, is owed a great debt of gratitude for his vision. On behalf of the erstwhile Business Law Reform Committee of Experts, I would like to express our profound appreciation and gratitude to the various attorneys general who have held office since 2008, and particularly to the incumbent one, the enthusiastic Honorable Garia Akufo, for being receptive to our entreaties on the Companies Bill and the Corporate Insolvency Bill, the twin bills. We would like also to thank the various MPs who have worked dutifully on the bills. Finally, Mr. President, our special gratitude is reserved to you and your government for getting the project over the line and causing the enactment of the Companies Bill 2018, and giving us the well-founded expectation that the Corporate Insolvency Bill 2019 will follow suit soon. You have, so to speak, finished the relay race. This was not a sprint relay, but a marathon one. There is a certain symmetry in you carrying the baton over the line in a race begun by Professor Kufuor. Excellency the President, ladies and gentlemen, before I resume my seat, I would like to draw attention to a recommendation of the Business Law Reform Committee of Experts, which has not yet been implemented, but whose time has come, particularly since the coming into force of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. It was a recommendation that Ghana should ratify the Convention on the International Sale of Goods in 1980, or the so-called CISG. I believe that it would be in our national interest to set in motion a process for considering the ratification of the CISG. Since 1980, when the Ghanaian delegation to the Plenipotentiary Conference in Vienna signed the CISG on behalf of Ghana, many of the major trading nations of the world have ratified it, turning it virtually into a lex megatoria in respect of international sale of goods. As Mr. President will be aware, the CISG is intended to be the law applicable to international sale of goods. Thus, instead of trying to find out what, for instance, Chinese, Russian, or US law is on a particular issue of law relating to a sale of goods transaction involving parties resident in those countries, a Ghanaian seller or buyer would rather look to the rules embodied in the CISG. It thus simplifies the law relating to international sale of goods transactions. But enough of this. Excellency the President, ladies and gentlemen, it is not my intention to bore you with arid points of law. It is now my pleasure to hand over to the Master of Ceremonies and give him the Chairman's direction. Let the festivities begin.
Thank you, Chair, Justice Professor Samuel Dateba. Let the festivities begin indeed. The next speaker is the board chairman of Guinness Ghana Breweries, PLC, and was immediate past country senior partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers Ghana, and a former member of the PwC Africa Governance Board. Our speaker has more than 30 years of practice and consulting experience in corporate finance and recovery, financial and forensic auditing, arbitration, capital projects and infrastructure, organizational restructuring, and performance improvement engagements in both developed and developing economies. Our speaker serves on various boards and committees, including Cosmos Energy Ghana Advisory Council, KEK Insurance Brokers, Ghana American Chamber of Commerce as Vice President, Ghana Association of Restructuring and Insolvency Advisors as Chairman and President of the Governing Council, University of Ghana College Education Advisory Council. Our speaker is the immediate past chairman of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation and was a member of the Justice Dateba Business Law Reform Committee of Experts, which reviewed the Ghana Companies Act and Bodies Corporate Insolvency Act. Our speaker is a regular presenter and participant in various thought leadership activities. And our speaker will be delivering the purpose of gathering and doing a brief presentation on Garia. Let us welcome to the podium Mr. Felix E. Addo.
I have a pointer here. Let's see how it works.
Yeah, it's working.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Kafui. Your Excellency, members of council, ambassadors, governors, I guess I have to say all protocols observed at this point. Okay. The purpose of our gathering this evening is basically to celebrate. We are celebrating the passage of the Companies Act. Okay. As the chairman mentioned earlier, this journey started some years back. It's gone through valleys and peaks. It's gone through close moments of closure. And of course, it's been on the vast plains, wondering for years as to whether it will come to fruition. Well, as was indicated, it finally did land. Yesterday, His Excellency, the President, assented to the company's bill. And I think we all owe it to ourselves to celebrate this occasion. In fact, if we were to set out to go to the moon, like the Americans did, I believe we would have gotten there a little quicker time. Nevertheless, we are here. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to bore you with tedious PowerPoint presentations for the evening, but let me just take a few moments of your time and tell you about Garia. Now, Garia is an association of restructuring and insolvency advisors. Okay. And Garia is the main host for this evening's affair. Okay. Garia was incorporated as a company limited by guarantee under the Companies Act sometime in 2006. We got our certificate to commence business in 2007. Now, it took us quite some time before we got our certificate. Under the new Companies Code, you will not need a certificate to commence business because in the spirit of ease of doing business, facilitating a pro-business environment, this particular requirement it's done away with. Garia is also registered as a professional body under the Professional Bodies Registration Decree. So now that you know who Garia is, let me take us back to why we are here. And of course, that's when technology starts to fail, right? Now, essentially, we have organized this evening to celebrate the passage of the bill. Okay. We also want to recognize the committee of experts who worked so hard, even when they were out of office, to ensure that we kept to the vision of getting a modern Companies Act. Okay. Not only the committee of experts, but as mentioned earlier, the Register of Companies, we have various stakeholders like the AGI, the PEF, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We had various interested parties, including organizations like BUSAC, who ensured that across the years, we kept focused to achieve the goal. So we want to recognize them. We also want to mention a bit about the progress made on the corporate insolvency bill. Now, yesterday we finished with the clause-by-clause review at the Parliamentary Constitutional Committee on Select Committee on the Constitution, Legal Affairs, and Parliamentary Affairs. Yeah, before Parliament rose yesterday. And of course, last but not the least, to launch the Garia Trust Fund, which His Excellency will be doing in a little while. The vision and mission of Garia essentially is to be the professional body leading the restructuring and insolvency matters in Ghana. And we plan to and exist to set standards, preserve, restore, and enhance economic value and capacity of professionals engaged in the business of restructuring and insolvency in Ghana. The drive for a Garia type of organization started sometime in, I guess, year 2001. Prior to that, we've had few cases of liquidations, major liquidations. It was in 2001 that Ghana was confronted with the liquidations of the Bank for Housing and Industry, BAC, and the Corporate Bank. Okay. It was very obvious right from the get-go that we didn't have the professional competencies in this country. And because our Companies Code wasn't quite modern at that time, it didn't allow for restructuring and other alternative forms of turning around companies which were distressed. Okay. And that is when the idea started brewing. Okay. I was fortunate to be working for a Big Four company called PwC. And so when we got the mandate to liquidate the Bank for Housing and Cooperative Bank, we brought in experts who knew about bank liquidations from other parts of the PwC network. And it took us about 3 to 6 months to do the core liquidation exercise for both banks. Okay. At the end of the day, we realized that this was a need for this country, and we had to move on it because we also happened to be in that position because PwC, again, was global, and we do spend quite a bit of our resources on thought leadership. We decided that we will form a Garia type of institution. Okay. Now, it took another big event, and that was the liquidation of Ghana Airways, 2005. Then we realized how significant and how massive the task was to set up an organization like Garia. In the Ghana Airways liquidation, about that time, there were several liquidations going on, restructuring going on in other parts of the world. Remember that 2000 thereabouts, we had the 9/11 disaster. Now, most of the hospitality industries and airlines literally had to be put under Chapter 11. The Americans call their restructuring programs Chapter 11. Had to be put under Chapter 11 considerations to allow them to survive. And today we have Delta, American Air, United Air, all those big airlines flying. But in 2006, because we didn't have this particular case of restructuring in this country, we had to liquidate Ghana Airways. Now, Ghana Airways then had about 1,400 employees. It had about creditors to the tune of over 200 million. It had operations in over 16 countries. And so the core liquidation center was Ghana. But because of the spread of the Ghana Airways operations, and Ghana Airways had valuable resources at that time, but it was very cash-strapped, okay? And I guess what killed the straw that broke the camel's back was our flying to BWI without proper clearance. So when the Americans grounded our Ghana Airways flight, that was the end of it. Because we couldn't fly, we couldn't operate. And quickly, all the creditors started calling in, the leaseholders and the like. They asked us to literally stop flying. Because if we can't go to the American airspace, which was then a big privilege, if we blew it, then it means that our planes were not worthy of flying to other international airports. Anyway, again, we fell on the PwC network. We had to use different resources in different countries. Every country had a different restructuring law. In Ghana, we had the bodies corporate at 180. We said, this is how you do liquidations. If we went across to Togo, went over to Senegal, we also had the Nigerian side, crossover, and Sierra Leone, Liberia. We went over to the European airspace. Germany had its own laws and processes of liquidations. We had to go to Germany, same problems. UK, same challenges. Everywhere we went, we had to literally hire accountants, lawyers, valuers, all manner of financial analysts, including salesmen, real estate salesmen, to sell properties and the like. Now, it dragged out the processes of the liquidation quite substantially, but more importantly, it also involved a lot of cost. Because everywhere you went, you had to pay up, pay all these, all these services to be able to achieve the liquidation. At the end of the day, we realized that we really had to do something about this. And therein came up with the Garia formulation. Okay. We had a chat with some of the legal and also the professionals we use in Ghana. And so we came up with the idea that why don't we set up a company limited by guarantee so that we can focus on this space. Okay. By the way, 2001, thereabouts, when we did a liquidation of the banks, we didn't have at 9:30. So the liquidation of the bank was very similar to how you liquidated a tomato factory. Okay. Luckily, though, at 9:30, which came into being a couple of years back, had provisions for restructuring, provisions for at least advising banks. In other words, there were interventions before you put the plug. In the case of BAC and Cooperative Bank, there weren't those facilities available. Okay. So we've come a long way, but we now need to bring the other companies into modern days. And that's how come we've been working on the corporate restructuring. During the clause-by-clause reviews, the parliamentarians, the Constitutional Committee, decided that we are focusing too much on insolvency, but we should think about the rescue culture. And so they changed the title. I don't know whether it will stand the test, but given the way they do business, I believe that at the end of the day, the title will stand. It's now the Corporate Restructuring and Insolvency Act. So the focus is now being broadened from just insolvency to restructuring. Okay. Let me just hit a couple of these slides, and then I'll get off the podium, because I believe you all want to hear from the first gentleman of the land, and also get on with your good food. I hear we have lobster, we have all manner of good dishes on the table. Okay. It's been a long week. Anyway, our strategic priorities, I'll just mention a couple, is one, to establish a best-in-class professional association with global and local linkages. And Garia today is a member of the Insolvency International Body, so we are a member of the international body. Okay. If you look at priority 3, which we'll be focusing on a bit later on, sustainable funding and resourcing. Garia has been predominantly funded by its platinum members and the membership, okay, and organizations like BUSAC. Okay. We need to expand and have a more steady funding arrangement. And therein comes the Garia Trust Fund, which will be launched this evening. Okay. Let me take you back to our members. Have 3 categories: individual members, institutions, and then the honorary members. Okay. And the individual members generally have an entry route, and that is either a lawyer, an accountant, or a banker. Okay. We do also recognize seasoned academicians and business executives. There are some nice historical slides, and I would like to show them to you, and then I will get off the stage. Okay. This is our, go back, please. Yeah, this is our governing council members. Many of them are here tonight with us to celebrate today. Okay. You know most of them around, so I won't go over the list. Okay. Our honorary members include Professor Nanagati, Magnus Boy, Professor Fuswama, J.S. Adok, K. Pianim, Norbert Kujawu, our late VCRC Crab, Honorable Jogati, and Honorable Jogati these days is into railways. His focus is building the first railway line from here to Ouagadougou, he tells me. Honorable Gloria Kufo is also one of us. She couldn't make it tonight because she's bereaved. Dr. Ishmael Yamsen, Marietta Brew, Deputy Governor Asedu Mante, Dr. Josai, and Alhaji Yusuf Ibrahim, our honorary members. Okay. These are some of our supporters who have carried us through the years. We have Fuga and Company, PwC, KPMG, Ernst & Young, Standard Chartered, Stanbic, Intraco & Co., Addison Bright, Sloan, Deloitte, is also one of us. Our development partners, as mentioned earlier, the Registrar General's Office, INSOL International. We have AmCham, the World Bank Group, and the Busak Fund. All right, let me just take you through a few of our events, okay? This was the launching of Garia, and it was in this hotel. And those of you who could recall, or who were there with us, it was about 12 years ago. It was launched by our late senior minister, then senior minister, J.S. Mensah. Oh, no. Could you go back, please? Okay. And you could see the tall, handsome-looking man in the middle. He was then more youthful, but today he's now the railway minister. Okay. Yeah. We had our first lady Ghanaian accountant, Madame Oroloko. She was then, she was with us when it was launched. Now, quickly go over some of the events we've had. This was the Africa Roundtable Conference we had. Again, we had it in this hotel, in fact, in this same room, okay? And we had participation from over 16 countries in Africa, okay? Plus the World Bank and the UK. Okay? This was another event with the Attorney General. I believe this was at the other hotel, and it was then a discussion on the events on the corporate insolvency, okay? On the far right, we had another event. This was at the Kempinski some time back, about a year or so ago. You can see her ladyship, who was then the keynote speaker, the then American ambassador, and our Lordship Justice Dateba making a point. Okay. Okay, this was an economic event we hosted. All right, let's speed forward. Yeah, okay. So, okay, all right. Now, many of these slides, pictures will be in your brochure for the night. So you don't have to worry about missing it all. But on that note, I hope I've taken you through a bit about what Garia is all about, what we represent, and where we think we could go in terms of helping modernize businesses and keeping businesses viable. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Felix Addo, President of Garia. What he neglected to tell you was that was actually his pitch speech. And so, yes. Now, if he's giving you a couple of reasons why you should dig deep and support Garia with funds. At this point, I was wondering, how do you put Garia into song and dance? Well, Noyam have the answer to that question, and their performance is going to dramatize the challenges of Ghanaian businesses, and then Garia comes in and works on the bill, and all of a sudden, things look brighter and nicer. Put your hands together for Noyam with their interpretation of what Ghanaian businesses are going through and what they can look forward to with the passage of the company's code and what Garia has been doing. Thank you. Noyam. And at this point, it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the dais our very special guest of honor, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
The Anglican Archbishop of Accra, Chairperson and Chair of the Committee of Experts, Minister for Railways Development, Representative of the Chief Justice, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, the President and members of Garia, Registrar General of Companies, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to be here this evening, and I'm grateful for the Governing Council of the Ghana Association of Restructuring and Insolvency Advisors, Garia, for the invitation and the opportunity to deliver these brief remarks. This is the first Garia Presidential Fundraising Dinner and Awards Night taking place since the establishment of this organization 13 years ago in 2006. And I'm honored to be associated with this maiden event. Hopefully, it portends well for its future. Chairperson, before I proceed, let me applaud successive leaderships of Garia for the important contributions they have made towards the growth of the association and for the role Garia has played towards the development of our country. Garia has been the foremost Ghanaian institution in the field of advisory services on insolvency, corporate restructuring, and business recovery. Aiko, and long may it continue. As the President of Garia has shown us, we're gathered here for 4 reasons: to celebrate the passage of the new Companies Act of 2019, to applaud the Committee of Experts, various stakeholder groups, and all the key players whose efforts have culminated in the passage of this act. Thirdly, to take stock of the progress made with the Corporate Restructuring and Insolvency Bill. And lastly, to launch the Garia Trust Fund. Since the enactment of the Companies Act, Act 179 of 1963, the statute inspired by the late celebrated English jurist, Professor L.C.B. Gower, there have only been sporadic revisions to the Act. The first acknowledged revision took place in 2003 under the supervision of the late Justice V.C.R.A.C. Crabb, which ended up being no more than a consolidation of the existing provisions of the Act and was not laid before Parliament. In 2008, under the presidency of that outstanding Ghanaian statesman, the second president of the Fourth Republic, His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor, the Business Law Reform Committee of Experts was established. This committee made innovative policy recommendations for the reform of the Companies Act. This also did not find its way to Parliament. So you can appreciate my understandable elation when, as part of my government's program for improving the ease of doing business in Ghana, Parliament passed a new Companies Act on the 2nd of May 2019, replacing the 1963 Act. So, we now have the Companies Act 2019, to which, by the grace of God, I assented to yesterday, 2nd August 2019. The process of enactment is now complete. I'm confident that this new act will improve significantly the ease of doing business in Ghana, enhance the corporate regulatory and governance framework, and reduce the cost of ensuring compliance for businesses. I invite the business community in Ghana and those from outside our shores to take advantage of the growing business-friendly environment being created in Ghana and invest in our country. Let me reiterate that Ghana continues to be a haven of peace, security, and stability. Indeed, the safest country in West Africa, and legitimate investments are protected. I thank the hardworking Attorney General and her drafting team, the committee of experts, chaired by the well-respected jurist, the former Supreme Court Judge, Mr. Justice Datiba, the Speaker and members of Parliament, and all those stakeholders, including the World Bank, the Business Sector Advocacy Challenge, and Friends of Ghana, for their efforts which have culminated in the passage of this new law. Ghana is grateful to each and every one of you. As we celebrate the passage of the New Companies Act, let us remind ourselves that more needs to be done to complete the business reform agenda of our country. The companion bill, that is the Corporate Restructuring and Insolvency Bill, which is currently before Parliament, is undergoing review by the Parliamentary Select Committee on Constitutional, Legal, and Parliamentary Affairs. I'm hopeful that the process of statutory enactment of this urgently needed bill will be completed by the end of this year. It will, amongst others, provide the avenue to help resuscitate distressed but viable business entities and establishments from liquidation and their ramifications. At the recent African Union Extraordinary Summit held in Niamey, the capital of the Republic of Niger, the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the African Union selected Ghana as the host country for the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCTA. This is the first time in our nation's history that we have the honor and responsibility of hosting an important Pan-African institution. Ghana is going to be the hub for African trade and investment, bringing in its wake more jobs, expanded conferencing and hospitality services, enhanced aviation and other transportation services, and related allied businesses. Consequently, the timing of our business law reforms could not have been more propitious. Chairperson, when I welcomed the Governing Council of Garia to Jubilee House earlier this year, I made a commitment to support their activities, which for me are focused on helping to realize the vision of me moving Ghana to a situation beyond aid. It was with great pleasure that I launched the Garia Trust Fund. The fund is designed to be the principal financing vehicle for Garia and will be managed by an independent board of trustees who possess diverse expertise in accounting, banking, law, business, and investments. I'm told that Garia relies on subscriptions from its members and Platinum Foundation members and collaboration from other organizations such as BUSAC, the American Chamber of Commerce, the World Bank Group, and the Registrar's General Department for its operations. These sources of funding over the years have proven not to be consistent, hence the need to establish the trust fund. I'm going to ask the Ministries of Finance, Trade and Industry, and Business Development to see to what extent they can properly assist the fund. In the meanwhile, I am personally donating 50,000 CDs as my modest contribution to the fund. I want to use this platform to call on all private sector players to demonstrate their commitment to contributing their quota to the transformation of the Ghanaian economy. Creating wealth and prosperity for our people is a shared responsibility. My government is a listening one, and I encourage stakeholders to utilize the private-public dialogue platforms being introduced by government to address issues of mutual concern in achieving the socio-economic transformation of our country. And I'd like to assure our chairperson that I've taken due note of his call for the ratification of the International Treaty on the Sale of Goods. And hopefully, action will be sooner than later. In conclusion, chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long journey in getting the New Companies Act passed. I invite you all to seize the opportunities presented by the enhanced enabling environment being created by government and play your part in building a strong, robust, business-friendly economy to realize the vision of a Ghana beyond aid. That is a self-reliant, self-confident Ghana, capable of generating a dignified, decent standard of living for the mass of her people, within a body politic that is respectful of the rule of law, individual liberties and human rights, and the principles of democratic accountability. I applaud all award winners and wish them the very best of luck in their future endeavors. May God bless us all in our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for your remarks and your generous contribution to the Garia Trust Fund, which has duly been launched of 50,000 cedis. We appreciate it. At this point, I'd just like to note the contribution of various organizations who have made this event possible, the first ever Garia Presidential Fundraising Dinner and Awards Night. We want to thank our official beverage sponsors, Guinness Beverages. Gold sponsors include Synergy Global Holdings, Tropical Cables and Conductor Limited, KEK Insurance Brokers, and Wilma Africa Limited. Our Garia partners, platinum members include PwC, EY, KPMG, Fuga and Company, Addison Bright Sloan, Felix Intrakwa and Company, Stanbic Bank Ghana, and Standard Chartered Bank. Our Garia silver member is Deloitte, and our development partners include Busac Fund, World Bank, Registered Journals Department, and the Ghana American Chamber of Commerce. And our Garia collaborators are the Private Enterprise Foundation, Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industries. If your hands are not engaged with the starters, please give them a big round of applause. And so the trust fund has been launched. And as the president said in his remarks, it will be the lifeline of what Garia is doing. And as he said rightly, so far it's been subscriptions and collaborations from partners that have kept Garia alive. We will need, obviously, a lot more to add to the 50,000 cedis that the president generously donated to us. So we have our ushers in the hall who will be bringing to you some pledge forms, and we are appealing to corporate Ghana to support Garia. Thank you very much. It's time for dinner, I believe, and Black Lace will give us music for good digestion. Thank you very much.
Never knew there was so much keeping me warm night and day. The miles of empty space in between us. The telephone can take the place of your smile, but you know I won't be traveling forever. Caught up, so hold up and do like I do when I need you. I just close my eyes and I'm with you. All that I so wanna give you is only a heartbeat away. When I close my eyes and you're right here by my side, you keep me warm night and day. I just hold out my hand, I just hold out my hand. And I'm with you, darling. Yes, I'm with you, darling. Oh, that I'll be with you. It's only a heartbeat away. The miles of empty space in between us. The telephone can take the place of your smile. But you know I won't be traveling forever. It's gone up, so hold up and do like I do. Oh, I need. Thank you very much.
For us to go into a very special part of the event. It's the first Garia Presidential Fundraising Dinner and Awards Night. So the fundraising start has begun, and so far we've raised 70,000 cedis because the president gave us a generous donation of 50,000. And Parliament of Ghana has also chipped in with their lot, 20,000 cedis. And it's being made by the majority leader, or say Chairman Sabunsu, on behalf of the speaker. So I think that deserves a big round of applause. We've made 70,000 already. The pledge forms are going around, and we'll be happy for your contributions. So now it's time for the recognition ceremony, and we are starting off by recognizing a gentleman who was mentioned in one of the speeches earlier on. And to do the presentations, it is our honor to invite up on the stage the President of the Republic to do these very special presentations. Let's put our hands together for the President of the Republic, President Akufo-Addo. Yes. And the first award goes to the Honorable Joe Garia. This is one of the briefest citations. By the time he gets here, I'll finish reading it. So on behalf of the Governing Council of Ghana Association of Restructuring and Insolvencies Advisors, we take privilege in presenting this citation to the Honorable Joe Garia in recognition of your vision, leadership, professional and academic interest in establishing the Business Law Reform Committee of Experts, awarded this 3rd day of August 2019. Mr. President? Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Mr. President. This goes to Mr. Joe Garia. Thank you very much. The next person, in no particular order, Professor Justice S.K. Dateba. Please put your hands together for him if your hands are free. And the professor has stepped out briefly, so we'll just move on to the next one, which is Mr. Felix Addo, the president of Garia. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I feel like I'm on an assembly line. Thank you very much, Mr. Felix Addo. This is Felix Addo, Mr. President. Thank you very much, Mr. Felix Addo. Congratulations to you. Dr. Oting Jesse will pick up the next special award. We'll put your hands together for Dr. Oting Jesse. To be followed by Professor Philip Ebo Bonzi Simpson. Thank you very much. Here you go. Thank you very much. Okay, we've got the Parliamentary Select Committee on Constitutional, Legal, and Parliamentary Affairs, and we are happy to present this award to them. We'll have a representative from Parliament to step forward. I believe the clerk is in the house. Thank you very much. Put your hands together for the clerk. For those of you who haven't seen the clerk, here he comes. Mr. President. Next. Bonzi Simpson, Professor Bonzi Simpson will take the next award. Thank you very much. Can we have Professor Dateba's award, please? Professor Dateba. Okay, he's back in. Professor Dateba. Thank you very much. Professor Justice Dateba is picking up the next one, Mr. President. Mr. Sal Amagavi is also going to be recognized. He's on the committee of experts. As well as Nana Donto as well, going to be recognized. If Nana, they're not here, we're going to have Mrs. Jemima Owari. It's going to be recognized. Mrs. Registered General's Department. Jemima Owari, please. There you go. She's not here? Okay. There she comes. There she comes. Mavis Amwa. We'd love to have you here. Felix Intrakwa. Nana Ohene Obeng. We'd love to have you here as well. Mr. Felix Intrakwa is next to take up his award. Thank you very much. Thank you. He's here. Yes. Mr. Felix, his special award. Mavis Amwa, Nana Ohene Obeng, Nana Donto are not here. Okay, and so, yes, there she is. Madam Mavis Amwa, thank you very much. Mr. President. Thank you very much. We don't have Professor Bonzi Simpson, neither do we have Salah Amegavi, we don't have Nana Donto here. So, and at this point, Mr. President, please stay because we are going to invite Her Ladyship Strickner Scott to help surprise you with an award. We're awarding the President this evening. So, yeah, he knows nothing about it, and so Her Ladyship is coming up right now, big surprise. And there she comes, assisted by Gifty Anand Myers, and she's coming up to decorate the President. We appreciate your efforts in making this possible, and we are thankful for your contribution. Here she comes.
Mr. President, on behalf of the Governing Council of Garia, I'm here to present to you this thing, which this sash, which I'll put it on you.
And so she's assisted by, and then we will turn, when he finishes, he will turn, don't worry. Photographers want their pictures. Yes, it has to be done well, and then he turns. Yes. There you go. Mr. President, photographers want you. Ambassador, please stay with him, and then you can leave him to take his selfie or picture by himself. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. President. It's a pleasure. Put your hands together for all the award winners, and especially the President. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we continue with the awards, and I am happy to call on the next person to present the awards for us tonight. And that person is none other than His Lordship Justice Jones Doche, who is going to be presenting to the Garia Council. Justice Doche, please, our next presenter of the next couple of awards. Let's put our hands together for Justice Doche to invite Professor Dateba to help us with the next presentations. Please put your hands together for him as he helps us do the next presentations. Okay, and at this point, I wanted to invite Mr. Felix Addo, the President of the Governing Council, to step up for his presentation. Mr. Felix Addo, please. Honorary member, please put your hands together for him as he picks up his award. Professor Nana. Thank you very much. To be followed by Ebenezer Magnus Boy. Please face the cameras. They want to see your faces smiling at them. Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Magnus Boy. A round of applause for him, please. Professor G. Ufusu Ama, John Saka. Professor G. Ofosu Ama, followed by John Saka Ado. So Kwame Pienim. Okay, so Madam Elizabeth Ohene is representing Professor G. Ofosu Ama, John Saka Ado. We've got Kwame Pienim, Norbert Kujawu as well to step forward. Thank you very much. It's going really like a nice procession. All right, and so we've got John Saka Ado. We have also Kwame Pienim, Norbert Kujawu, Honorable Joe Garte as well. Honorable Joe Garte taking another award as an honorary member. Honorable Joe Garte. And then we have the Honorable Gloria Kufu, who I know is not here, Dr. Ishmael Yamson. But if somebody is here representing Gloria Kufu, Honorable, would like to have the person here. Dr. Ishmael Yamson, Honorable Marietta Brew Apia Opong, Emmanuel Asiedu Mante, Reverend Dr. Joyce Ayi, and Alhaji Yusuf Ibrahim. I'm going through the honorary names again. For those who haven't heard or are yet to come up, please come up if you've heard your name, and we will make sure that this is Alhaji Yusuf Ibrahim. Thank you very much. Alhaji, welcome. Reverend Dr. Joyce Ayi, the Honorable Marietta Brewer Piaopong, Dr. Ishmael Yamson, the Honorable Gloria Kufu. Did we have Honorable Jogate come already? He did come already. Thank you very much. Norbert Kujawu, Kwame Pienim, John Saka Ado, Professor G. Ofosu Ama, and the Ebenezer Magnus Boy. Okay, so we will now make some posthumous awards, and Prof, I'll just give you this. 4 of them that we want to recognize posthumously. They contributed immensely to Garia, and we want to recognize them. The first of the posthumous awards is going to Stanley Amatefio. We have a representative of Stanley Amatefio to step forward. We also have one for VCRAC Crab, as well as Alex Ashabo and RS Amegashi. So can we have your representatives? Stanley Amatefio. This is a representative for Stanley Amatefio. This is for VCRC Crab. Fantastic. Please come up. VCRC Crab. Thank you very much. Prof, that's for you. RS Amegashi. We also have Alex Ashiabo and Stanley Amatefio. Stanley Amatefio. Fantastic. Stanley Amatefio, let's have that. Stanley Amatefio, thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. So we've got VCRC Crab, that's gone, Stanley Amatefio, Alex Ashiabo. Fantastic. Thank you very much. We are recognizing them. They made sterling contributions to Garia, and we're left with RS Amegashi. I think Mr. Ado will take it on behalf of Mr. Amegashi, I believe. Oh, we have a representative here. Yes, indeed. RS Amegashi, please. Yes. Yes, I want to. This is for RS Amegashi. Thank you very much. Black Lace, please stand by for us. Thank you very much. Professor Dadema, thank you so much. And thank you. Please give him a big round of applause. Thank you very much. Wishing you a safe journey, Mr. President, and your entourage. Please remain standing as the President exits the hall, and then after which we may resume our seats. Many thanks, Black Lace. And we continue with the awards. And these ones are going to be given to the Governing Council. And to help us present these awards, let us welcome to the stage Her Excellency, the Spanish Ambassador to Ghana, Alicia Rico. Right in the middle. Okay, all right, okay. We've got some lessons in looking into the camera's eyes. Okay. And so the first award is for Professor Justice S.K. Dateba. Thank you very much. Okay, Jacob Sa is being recognized this evening. Jacob Sa. Jacob Sa. There he comes. Maybe not. All right, while we're waiting for Mr. Jacob Sa, we will go to Oro Loco, who was mentioned in Mr. Felix Addo's speech. Yes, Madame Oro Loco would love to recognize you right now. She's here. Yes. We're going to give you a plaque.
My God be my provider, He be my protector. Somebody go higher. Yo, baby, I need my God be my provider, He be my protector. Somebody go higher. Oh yeah, me never be a poverty. I don't do them anything. People say me another day. If you wish me well, I wish you well. Me never be a poverty. I don't do them anything. People say me another day. If you wish me well, I wish you well. Eva, Eva, I still dey fight for the paper. Oh me now, no be later. No be later. Eva, Eva, I still dey fight for the paper.
Come to the middle. Thank you. Please flash your dazzling smile at the cameras. There you go. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Okay, the next award is for Divine Lecha. We are recognizing Divine Lecha in the house. Divine Lecha.
Oh yeah, and they call me Eugene.
Eric Nipa. Eric Nipa. We have Mr. Eric Nipa in the house. It's Eric Nipa. Professor Samuel N. Wood, also a member of the Governing Council. Professor Wood, there he comes. Thank you very much, Ambassador. Thanks a lot. Congratulations, Professor Wood, Samuel N. Wood. We'll now call on the Honorable Ben Abdallah Banda, Chair of the Constitutional, Legal, and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, to present the next set of awards. The Honorable Ben Abdallah Banda. Thank you very much. And we want to recognize the Honorable Vicky Bright, member of the Governing Council. There you go. And then this goes here. That's for her. Please face the cameras. Cameras are that way. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. We've got Wilson Atta Krofa. We want to celebrate him today. Member of the Governing Council, Wilson Atta Krofa. Wilson Atta Krofa. We also want to celebrate Professor Emeritus Albert Fiajo. Professor Emeritus Albert Fiajo. Wilson Atta Krofa. Felix Addo, President of the Council. I believe he's, there he comes, Mr. Felix Addo. He's coming in. Can we have him? Mr. Felix Addo knows his timing to a T. So Mr. Felix Addo, President of the Governing Council, just saw the President off, and he's in time to pick up his award. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, I like this photo. All right, Prof. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. Honorable, thank you. That was a great photo. Okay, so now the next set of awards. This is for, we're looking at a presentation of awards to our official beverage sponsor and then platinum, gold, and silver sponsors. I'd like to invite back on the stage this time to present Professor Dateban, who will help us with this presentation this time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So Guinness Ghana Breweries is going to be appreciated at this particular moment. They are our official beverage sponsor, Guinness Ghana Breweries. We are also going to recognize our Platinum Foundation members, PwC Ghana, KPMG Ghana, EY Ghana, Standard Chartered Bank Ghana, Stanbic Bank Ghana, Fuga and Company, Intrakwa and Company, and Addison Bright Sloan. Please step forward, and Addison Bright Sloan is here, so we can have the Addison Bright Sloan. Whoever is first come, first serve. So let's find out who they are. Please come forward. Guinness Ghana is coming up next. Guinness Ghana Breweries, official beverage sponsor. Can we have the Guinness? Yes. All right. There you go, Guinness. Thank you so much. Well done. Congratulations, Guinness. Thank you very much. And now we have Standard Chartered Bank Ghana. Standard Chartered. Standard Chartered. Here for good. Yeah, there you go. Standard Chartered. Fuga and Company is next. Thank you very much. This is for Fuga and Company, Prof. Thank you very much. EY is next. These are our Platinum Foundation sponsors. We have EY, we have Stanbic, we have Intrakwa and Company, we have Addison Bright. Addison, if we have Addison, thank you very much. All right. Intrakwa and Company. Intrakwa and Company. Do we have it? Thank you very much. What's coming? All right. Intrakwa. Thank you very much. Thank you. Intrakwa has gone. Addison, Fuga, Standard Chartered. We have PYC, KPMG, EY Ghana, and Stanbic Ghana. Thank you very much, our platinum sponsors. And this is
thing you to do when it make me say, oh yeah, oh yeah. That thing you to do to make me crazy. Come on, watch me. That thing you to do to make me crazy. Oh yeah, come on. That thing.
Congratulations, EY, PY, PwC. All right, thank you very much. Okay, thanks a lot. And I think we are done. Stanbic Ghana. And we have PwC as well. Let's have PwC, please. PwC. Thank you very much, Platinum Foundation members. So we are done. Thank you very much. Keep KPMG. I also so these are the Platinum Foundation members: PwC, KPMG, EY, Stan Chartered, and we've got Stanbic Bank Ghana as well. KPMG, well done. And so those are our Platinum Foundation members: PwC, KPMG, EY, Stan Chart, Stanbic, Fuga, Trakwa, and Addison Bright Sloan. Prof, thank you so much. You've done a great job. And then quickly, I'll give you the last set to do, and then we are done, sir. So these are our Garia Development partners. The first one goes to Registrar General's Department, followed by BUSAC, Business Sector Advocacy Challenge, AmCham Ghana, World Bank Group, and Ghana Investment Promotion Center. Okay, so do we have Registrar General's Department? Registrar General's Department, thank you. Mr. Felix Addo would like to have you present the next set of awards, please. So after Registrar, this is the last one. Registrar General's Department. So this is the last one for Professor Datiba, and now Mr. Felix Addo will take over and do the development partners and collaborators. Thank you very much, Prof. It's been great. President of Garia, Mr. Felix Addo will help us with the next set. So the second one is Business Sector Advocacy Challenge, BUSAC Fund, followed by AmCham Ghana. Wait, we don't know who's here yet. Are they here? So that's BUSAC. All right, there we go. BUSAC, congratulations. Well done, BUSAC. AmCham Ghana would like to have you up here. World Bank Group, Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC. AmCham, World Bank, GIPC. I hope you're enjoying the dessert. It's really nice. I haven't tasted it, but I know it's good. So do we have AmCham, World Bank, GIPC? Can we have GIPC, please? Yeah. Thank you. I like Mr. Felix Addo style. Network on the stage. Yes, and that's GIPC. AmCham is also a development partner as well as World Bank Group. And if you're here, we'd like to hear from you. AmCham, World Bank will keep your plaques for you. AmCham is here. World Bank. Okay, good. So we'll go to the next set of Garia collaborators. Private Enterprise Foundation, PEF, Association of Ghana Industries, Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industries. We'd like to have you here. Okay. PEF, AGI, GNC, and I. We've also got our event sponsors, gold sponsors, Synergy Global Holdings, KK Insurance, Tropical Cable, Wilma Africa. We'd like to have you up here so we can give you your recognitions. KK Insurance, Wilma Africa Synergy, and Tropical Cable. Here comes Synergy, Synergy, Synergy. Thank you very much. Well done, Synergy. Round of applause for them. Okay, KEK would love to have you here. Tropical Cable, Wilma Africa, KK Insurance, thank you, congratulations, Synergy, Private Enterprise Foundation, Association of Ghana Industries, Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industries. KEK. KEK. Fantastic, fantastic. So KEK, to be followed by Tropical Cable. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Gold sponsors. Tropical Cable is up next. Tropical Cable Conductors Limited. Wilma Africa is next. I feel like air traffic controller, you know, the planes are coming and going. Yes, so Wilma, you are cleared for takeoff. Thank you very much. Wilma Africa, gold sponsor. Gold sponsor, gold sponsor. Thank you. Wilma. Great stuff. PFAGI, Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industries. And then Mr. Ado recognized Deloitte Ghana, silver member Deloitte. We'd love to have you here, Deloitte. Do we have Deloitte in the house? Thank you very much. We are on standby to take for Deloitte. And then we also recognize our media partner in graphic communication, specifically graphic business. We'd love to have a representative from graphic business to help us with the next awards. So these are the outstanding awards before I release Mr. Felix Ado. Graphic communication business, graphic business. We've got Private Enterprise Foundation, Association of Ghana Industries, Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industries, and Deloitte Ghana. All right, Mr. Ado, you are kindly released. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot, all of you. And enjoy the dessert before we hear from Professor Samuel Dateba, Justice Dateba, to give us his remarks to end the evening. Thank you. Our chair, please let's welcome with a big round of applause Justice Professor Samuel Dateba to give us his remarks. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, all protocol observed. I'm sure that we are all agreed that we've had an enjoyable evening. The food and the drinks have been good, and it's all for a good cause. We have marked appropriately a milestone event, the enactment of a new Companies Act. So it is now up to the private sector to take advantage of the opportunities presented by this new act. And we have noted the vision of Garia, and I hope that you are all converted to supporting Garia. And we've seen the launch of the Garia Trust Fund. We hope that you will all contribute in the coming years. That is all that need be said by way of closing remarks, and I will end here. I thank you very much.
A set of closing remarks were too short. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for your brief, concise, and to the point remarks. At this point, I'd like to say thanks to our event sponsors, official beverage sponsors, Guinness, as well as our gold sponsors, Synergy Global Holdings, Tropical Cable and Conductors Limited, KEK Insurance Brokers, and Wilma Africa Limited. Special mention must go to our Garia partners, platinum members who are PwC, EY, KPMG, Fugo and Company, Addison Bright Sloan, Felix Intrakwa and Company, Stanbic Bank Ghana, and Standard Chartered Bank. We want to say thanks to our Garia Silver member, Deloitte, as well as our development partners, who are Busak Fund, World Bank, Registered Journals Department, and I'm chairman. By the way, speaking of Registrar General's Department, we will be inaugurating or inducting Mrs. Jemima Awari as an honorary member of the council in due course. We want to also thank Garia collaborators, Private Enterprise Foundation, Association of Ghana Industries, Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Thank you so much. And all of you who've made this evening a wonderful one, the first Garia Presidential Fundraising Dinner and Awards Night. At this point, it gives me great pleasure to call on the spokesman for the National Chief Imam to help us with the closing prayer. Please let us welcome Sheikh Amiyao Shaibu. Gary office to do the closing prayer for us. Thank you very much. Mr. Hansen.
Thank you, Kafui. Shall we all be upstanding, please, to take the closing prayer? Father, we thank you so much for such a wonderful evening. We thank you for blessing us. We thank you for every member present here. Those who are on their way going home, may you take them successfully to their homes. When we meet again, we say, glory be to your name. Father, in the name of the corporate insolvency bill that is about to be passed, may you bless it. Let it help businesses in Ghana so that at the end we say, glory be to your name. In Jesus' name I pray with thanksgiving. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hansen. It gives me great pleasure to say I've enjoyed immensely the evening. It's good to see all of you here. If you have not enjoyed the dessert, please, I urge you to enjoy it. Let's have fun. If you have to go, we wish you a safe journey. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. For those of you who are staying here, we have premium music from the finest band in Ghana, Black Lace, for you to enjoy. My name is Kafui Day. It's a pleasure to have been your master of ceremonies. Good night. God bless. Over to you, Black Lace.
Slap police for your case. Jump water for your case. I bought you jobs for your case. Garia for your case. I slap police for your case. John John for your case. Anything you want, baby. Just for you, baby. For your case. Oh, yeah, for your case. Oh, for your case. I go to war for your case. I travel here for your case. I slap police for your case. I pump it out for your case. Anything you want, baby, just for you, baby. For your case, for your case, for your case. For your case, I could call and see all the one more. I could report all of them. I could slap a baby for your case. I could go show you for your case. I could slap a little more, and I could report all of them. Tell me what the hell are you waiting for? If I the soaking got it, it goes so. If I the one up with it, it goes okay. What the hell are you waiting for? If I the fire color, it go right. If I the go, it go crazy. It's you, yeah, for your case, you, for your case, you, yeah, for your case, you. Say money fall on you, banana fall on you, brother Banana fall on you, cause I'm in love with you, yeah. Money fall on you, banana fall on you, brother fall on you, cause I'm in love with you, yeah. Are you done talking? Tell me, baby, are you done talking, yeah? Are you done talking? Tell me, baby, are you done talking, yeah? Are you done talking? Tell me, baby, are you done talking, yeah? Are you done talking? Tell me, done talking, yeah. I don't wanna be a player no more. Yeah, yeah. I don't wanna be a player no more. I don't wanna be a player no more. No more. I don't wanna be a player no more. Hey, my guys call me Cristiano, Mr. Ronaldo, I'm on Nintendo, yeah. Oh, my guys call me Cristiano, Mr. Ronaldo, I'm on Nintendo, yeah. I'm in love with you, I'm in love with you, baby. Nothing of it don't change, nothing of it don't change, hey. If I talk, them go say I dey talk. Tell me why them they use Panadol for headache. How I go chop when my baby no chop?